Alrighty, as promised, this is going to be a short video because I know that a lot of people don't have a ton of time to watch it. So we're going to be working with probability of one independent event. So if I decided to shoot some baskets and I shot 10 total shots and I made a total of 6, we, in order to find probability, do this fraction, event over total. The event here is how many baskets I made, which is 6. The total number of shots was 10. And if I decided to turn that into a decimal, it would be 0.6, and a percent is 60. So I have a 60% probability of making baskets in this case. Okay, so that's what we're working with. Always event over total. Always the event on top, total on bottom. So difference between theoretical and experimental probability is theoretical is what you should get. And experimental is what you do get. So if we have this bag of marbles here on the bottom that have 3 red, 4 blue, and 8 white, first of all, we need to figure out the total. So I add all those numbers up and I get 15 total. And I want to know the theoretical probability of getting a red. I would do 3 because that's our event on the top, and our total is 15 on the bottom, which simplifies down to 1 over 5. So I have a 1 of 5 probability of getting a red. This is theoretical. But let's say I actually did the experiment, and I went to here and I pulled a red 6 out of 15 times. If I then simplified this down, that would give me a 2 out of 5 probability of getting a red in experiment. So the experiment's when you actually do it, and the theoretical is what you would expect to get. Okay? So we're going to do some probabilities here. The first one, we're rolling a dice and we want to get a 6. What's the probability and theoretical that this would actually happen? Well, first of all, the event is if you have a 6-sided dice, okay, so we had our dice here, and 6-sided, that means of all of these sides, only one of them has a 6 on it. So I'd put that 1 on the top. And the total number of options are 6. So I would end up getting a 6. So it's 1 out of 6 probability. If I wanted to turn that into a percent, that would be about 17%. What about if I have 8 CDs and I want to get my only Beach Boys CD out of there? Well, ignoring the fact that how outdated Beach Boys are, if we had 8 total CDs and only one of them was the Beach Boys, that would be simply 1 out of our total of 8. And we could also break that down into percent. And on the bottom here, we have 8 equal options on this spinner. And they're going, what's the probability that we get red on the spinner? Well, if there's 8 total, there's 1 red spot, so it would be a 1 out of 8 to get a red. Get yellow or gray. This is a combo. Well, there is 1 gray spot and there is 1 yellow spot. So that means there are 2 total yellow or gray spots. And there are 8 total here. So that becomes 1 out of 4 or 25%. Okay. Now, spinners are an interesting case. And I'm asking you, what's the difference between the spinner on the left and the spinner on the right? Well, I'm hoping that you notice that the spinner on the left, each one of these are very evenly spaced out, meaning there are 8 total, and they're equal spaces. Now, the one on the left is tougher because in order to get even spots, I would have to split it up like this. So now there are 5 even spots. But that means that 3 occupies this one here and this one here. 2 occupies this one here and this one here. So if I wanted the probability of getting a 2, I would have to do 2 out of 5. If I want a probability of a 3, it would still be 2 out of 5. Okay, because you have to make it so that each spot is even on a spinner. All right? So I'm going to have you pause it and give these a try and see how it goes. So I'm hoping that you tried those. So I'm rolling an even number. There are 3 even numbers on a dice, so that means you get 3 out of 6, which simplifies down to 1/2, which is 50%. Pulling a blue marble out of a bag with 6 blue and 3 red, that'd be 6 out of 9, 2 out of 3, which is 67%. And finally, you shot 18 baskets and you made 4. What's the probability you make the next one? So you go 4 out of 18. Now this is a tricky way to ask this. What's your probability to make the next one? But what they're asking you is what was your probability. So this ends up being 2 out of 9. And 2 out of 9 is 22%. So you have a 22% chance of making your next one, which is Wesley Johnson type numbers. Very bad. All right. I think that's everything. All righty, there you go. Only 6 minutes. Yeah, you guys have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.